AreaSports.net proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch, one of the area's longest-running local sports talk shows, featuring interviews with area coaches, athletes, and other media personnel covering the sports in our area. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch starts now. And good morning, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here on this sunshiny Saturday, December the 7th. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. And we're also live on the radio as well. That's right. We want to welcome all the listeners joining us this morning here on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY in Centralia. Some cozy digs we've got here. Danny, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, nice.
I think we found a nice new radio home. This is going to be fun. A lot of you listeners here, normally to WILY, of course, have heard sports shows here in the past. And, of course, you can catch Orphans and Orphan Annie basketball on sister station X95. That's 95.3. And, of course, you'll still be able to do that throughout the year. We've got 6 different guests on the show with us this morning. We will not have Lee Bennett on the show with us, though, because Lee Bennett and the CHS Coaches Show is featured every Monday night on X95 with host Ryan Roddy. And so you can check out Lee Bennett's comments about not only last night's game, but also the upcoming week, each and every Monday night at 6 p.m. on X95. But, boy, we do have a great lineup of coaches today on the Sports Couch, don't we, Danny?
Yeah, high school basketball's in full swing.
Oh, boy, we had a lot of Thanksgiving tournaments going on and still some championships tonight. In fact, a big one over in Carlisle tonight, championship game coming up between Woodlawn and Pinckneyville, and we're going to talk to Coach Bob Waggoner of the Pinckneyville Panthers a little bit later on the show. Well, last week we had Coach Brian Gamber on from Woodlawn, and so we'll have Coach Waggoner on today to talk about that big game tonight. Also, we'll have Wayne Harre, the Nashville Hornets, on with us. They won the championship of the Mascoutah Tip-Off tournament last night, and then he's going to turn right around and play another big one tonight.
Yeah, and you know what's pretty amazing about that is he started that tournament with a bunch of his other players because half his team was gone playing football.
Yeah, a true story. They also still have not taken a team photo yet because they just haven't had, the guys together long enough and coordinating with a photographer and stuff like that. You know how most schools have already taken their team photos and submitted them to various places for uses in programs and websites and what have you. Talking to their athletic director yesterday, she said, we're still not, we got the girls' picture, but we don't have the boys' picture yet, and we won't do that until Monday. But I can understand that.
And also, it's hard to imagine, but a week from Monday, the Christmas tournaments kick off with the Conrad Allen tournament in Wayne City. You're right, and we may talk about that a little bit later on the show. Also joining us this morning will be Coach Doug Creel of the Mount Vernon Rams, Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules, Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions will be joining us, and Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers, all joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. It's 90 minutes of great local sports talk here on AreaSports.net, also on WILY1210.com, and, of course, now here on the radio as well at Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY. Danny, you want to run through some of the scores from around the area last night? I'll get our first guest on the show with us. All right, from the South 7 Conference, it kicked off last night, and Carbondale gets a big win over Mount Vernon, 54-39. Centralia handles Belleville Althoff 62-48. Marion over Cahokia 66-45. From the Little Illini, Olney beat Robinson 54-50. Lawrenceville 57, Red Hill 35. Newton 49, Paris 46. Regular season games, Salem defeated West Frankfort 53-50. T-Town over Breeze Central 54-41. Edwards County picks up a win 48-41 over Sisney. Effingham 76, Mattoon 71. El Dorado defeats Gallatin County 56-38. The first team to reach the century mark this season, Wayne City beats Grayville 100-40. St. Anthony 69, Sullivan 35. ZR 51, Weber Township 32. Christopher holds Carrier Mills to 17 points. They win 56-17. NCOE victorious over Thompsonville, 52-45. Odin beat South Central, 50-36. Marshall beat Hudson. That Marshall team, Randy, must be loaded, 84-40.
Yeah, they've pinned the only loss on the Fairfield Mules so far, too.
Well, they won that tournament up there, that Capital Classic tournament.
Right.
So they look like they're going to be reckoned with. Breeze Mater Dei, 61. Johnsboro, 32. A team that had it rolling in football looks like now they've got it in basketball. East St. Louis, 62. Belleville East, 34.
And then in those Thanksgiving tournaments last night,
from Carlisle, Greenville beat Flora 51-43. Carlisle over Hillsboro 60-39. At the DuCoin Tip-Off Classic, DuCoin beat Redbud 61-46. Down at Goreville, Hardin County beats Johnson City 57-43. Goreville 90, Hamilton County 61. Benton, not a surprise they won, but the margin victory and the defensive effort 45-25. They just didn't allow AJ to do much at all last night.
Yeah, we'll talk to Coach Ron Winemiller of the Rangers about his defensive effort a little bit later on the show.
Columbia beat Trenton Westland 54-37, and Nashville wins at Muscuda Tip-Off 52-32 over Muscuda. And the Trico Murphy Invitational, Sparta beat Galatia 70-42, Chester 67, North Tech 60. Murfreesboro 66, Lovejoy 49, and Trico was 2 points better than Steelville, 36-34.
All right, a very, very busy scoreboard from around the area last night, and as you mentioned, in the South 7 Conference last night, the Carbondale Terriers defeated the Mount Vernon Rams to open the South 7 Conference season last night, 54-39. Joining us on the phone right now is the head coach of the Rams. That's Doug Creel. Good morning, Doug. How's it going?
Good morning, guys. Going good.
Well, tough loss last night, but hey, the sun still came up this morning, and you probably got Milo and May sitting there on your lap this morning, so I'm sure life is still good, right?
Well, they got me up early, and they've been outside. And they're outside now. There's no sleeping in with those two.
Oh, probably not.
But that's okay.
Probably not.
That's okay, though.
Well, I was at an event last night with my grandkids. It was a Christmas program, so I didn't get to really be there for the Rams game last night, so I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if it was a situation of not being able to score or shoot well against Carbondale, or whether it was a situation of not defending them well, or a combination thereof. So share with us your thoughts on the game last night down at Carbondale.
Well, Carbondale's very, very good basketball team. You know, they beat Alton up at Alton, and Alton's very athletic, and they should have beaten, had chances to beat O'Fallon, who's a good basketball team. I think O'Fallon played Collinsville really tough last night. And you know how good Collinsville is.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So we knew that they were very athletic in all their spots, and they guarded. They play about 7 seniors. And Dylan Harkins, our point guard's on concussion protocol when he ran into Jackson Connor last week down in the Pyramid down there at Carterville, played Marion. And did not play, and because of that, you know, I had Hunter Simmons a little bit out of position. We did get Amir in a little bit, and he's limited to the amount of minutes that I can play him. But, you know, we needed several guys to play really well, and that didn't happen. But Carbondale's very athletic, very quick. They do guard you. And we gave them too many easy baskets, and they made some tough baskets, but they also made some shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that they played well, and they had several guys play well. And I probably couldn't say that about our guys, but, you know, it's a learning process. You know, everybody talked about how great we're going to be. And, you know, we're a good basketball team, but we got a long ways to go to be a great team, and I think as we bring Amir around and hopefully we'll have Dylan back when we go to Centralia. But we don't have an easy road here because Centralia is unbeaten. I'm sure they'll win today, and you know, it's tough for us to play at Centralia. It's tough for us to win up there regardless of who they got. And then we got to go to McCracken and play McCracken at McCracken.
Mm-hmm.
In their shootout, and they got a really good team and really good players. There's one player, 6'6" kid, and we got our work cut out for us. And hopefully it'll flip a little bit here after Christmas. We can have some home games and not be on the road so much. But Carbondale's good. We needed to play better. We needed to take care of the ball a little better. We gave them some easy baskets, which usually the team that gets the easier baskets wins. And they did make some plays. They made some tough plays, and they also hit shots. And, we hung in there. We got down 9-0 again like we did last year down there, and just could not get over the hump. And, we shot below 50% from the free throw line, which hurts. When you're playing a good team and you're struggling a little bit, you got to make free throws, and we did not do that either. So it's a combination of things. We just got to get better.
Yeah, kind of a perfect storm last night. Yeah, kind of a perfect storm.
I'm not down on our kids, and hey, being good's tough, and we're going to play good people. And in 2 weeks we got a home game with Belleville Altoff, and then we go to Webster Groves to play Webster Groves in their shootout. So we're playing good people, but I really feel like if we want to be good, those are the kind of things we do. We still got to make some adjustments. Some of our young kids are finding out, hey, varsity level's a little bit different. And some of the people we play is a little bit different than, winning JV games or freshman games. So all those things said, hey, I think we're still a good basketball team. We just weren't good enough to beat Carbondale last night down there.
Well, Doug, the South 7 year in, year out is, regardless of who's playing who, it's always going to be a battle. Everybody gets up for everybody, and everybody does a good job of protecting home court. And so anyway, you had a key personnel a little banged up and stuff last night, and you go to a hostile environment down there at Carbondale. It's tough, South 7, night in, night out.
Yeah, it is. I think South 7's a little better this year than we were last year. But Carbondale's good. They got the Balch kid didn't score, but that's not what he brings them. He brings them that 6'4", 220-pound body inside, and the Macklin brothers are good, and the Creer's been playing and hit shots and played really well. And then the point guard they got, it came from Cairo's, a really good player and made some plays in transition. And then they bring two seniors off the bench, 12 and 10, who both good players, quick, guard you. They're a good basketball team, and hopefully when they come up here a little bit later in the year, we'll play them a little better and see what we can do.
Yeah, I think Ward led them in scoring last night with 19 points. Of course, a lot of those were at the free throw line down the stretch, though, too. You mentioned that Amir Spann returned to action last night, got some minutes for you. A lot of those were in the fourth quarter, and he had a pretty good fourth quarter, had 7 points for you. You made a little bit of a run, got it down to an 8-point game for a little bit, but just couldn't get over the hump.
Well, we got an 8-point game and got a technical because, we were a little too excited, and then they go down and shoot 2 free throws and get the ball back, and that's kind of a backbreaker. And those kind of things you just can't do. But considering that we gave them easy baskets, considering we were very well from the free throw line, considering they played well, and we were still knocking on the door there a little bit, those are positives I can take from it. And we're playing a little bit more wide open. Our guys may find out that, hey, maybe we got to be a little bit more conservative here and there. But, everybody wants you to play fast and do this and that. And, sometimes that's okay. And against good people, sometimes that's not. But, hey, we'll find our way. We'll find what's best. And like I said, as Amir, my plan for Amir is to get him healthy down the stretch and to be really ready come January, February, and that's kind of where we're going to be. And hopefully Dylan will be back next week, and we'll see what happens. That's
what I was going to ask you. Well, what's the prognosis for Dylan? Do you think he'll be back for the Centralia game?
I think he'll be back. He just hasn't felt good this week and felt like himself and didn't practice 2 or 3 days. And I think he's going to start running maybe a little bit Sunday or Monday, and hopefully he'll be back. He brings some ball handling, some toughness. He's started our first 4 games, and like I said, hurts a little bit because then I've got Hunter Simmons playing a little bit out of position in the lineup. But hey, we can learn. You can learn from losses. It's not fun, but like I said, Carbondale's a good basketball team, and we have to do a better job defensively and clog up the lanes a little bit. But when we did clog them up, they hit shots. when they do that, they're pretty good.
Well, as you know, many times you'll learn more from a loss than you do a win anyway, Coach. So,
well, you should. You should. If our guys can learn from that. I think we learned a lot from the Collinsville beating that we got, and we rebounded against Marion. But hey, Centralia will be a tough test for us because they control the tempo, they control the ball, and they're going to guard us. They're going to try to take away our strengths. And, it'll be a tough game up there. We'll see what happens.
All right, Doug. Appreciate your time this morning. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. All right. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. Thanks. Bye-bye. It's Doug Creel, head basketball coach and athletic director at Mount Vernon. Tough loss last night on the road at Carbondale. Again, playing without Dylan Harkins. They fall 54-39, but the Rams took 3 out of 4 down at that Pyramid Plus tournament, losing only to Collinsville. But shoot, almost everybody's going to lose to Collinsville this year.
Alton played them tough last night.
Yeah, they did. I was surprised.
54-50.
I know. So that tells you how good Alton is.
But that could have been a deal, too. Collinsville may have been a little full of theirself, too.
Well, it could be because they've been reading the press clippings and the rankings and the polls, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes that does make a difference when you're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
Oh, yeah. And every time you walk down the street, somebody's patting you on the back. First thing you know, you got to start believing it.
Telling you how good you are.
Yep.
Telling you how good you are. That's right. Well, stay tuned when we come back. We're going to talk about the Fairfield Mules. That's right. They got a big game tonight. Their home opener at the Mule Barn. Mules will be taking on Cessavalier tonight. We'll talk to Coach Scott McElravy about that and talk about how they did at that Lawrence County Classic last weekend. All that and more coming up as the Sports Couch continues here live on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY. Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jaggers Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jaggers Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home. They will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jaggers Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon.
With capability comes freedom in the 2019 Nissan Rogue Sport at Munkin Nissan in Centralia. It's street savvy and road trip ready. The Rogue Sport is decked out with Nissan intelligent mobility features and is ready to navigate life's daily adventures or break routine at a moment's notice. See your Munkin Nissan family this month to see how you can drive away in a 2019 Rogue Sport. Munkin Nissan, Highway 161 in Centralia and Munkin1.com. Don't forget the 4th Annual Munkin's North Pole event, Saturday, December 7th.
Fast Eddie Veltman, the legendary Centralia criminal defense attorney, has joined Olson and Reeves, attorneys at law. With offices in Centralia and Mount Vernon, Olson and Reeves are personal injury and criminal defense lawyers, and we've got your back. If you've been hurt in an accident or you've been arrested for a DUI or other charge, call Olson and Reeves today at area code 618-533-1601 for a free case evaluation. Olson and Reeves, attorneys at law. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY and also streaming on WILY1210.com. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Fairfield Mules had the night off last night. Maybe Coach McElravy went around and scouted last night, you think?
I bet he took his wife on a date.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. We'll find out. Coach Scott McElravy, the Mules, joins us right now. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Hey, good morning. One of you two is right.
One of us two is right. Uh-oh.
He took her on a date. Now, he may I recall this scenario from last year. He had a night like that, and they went to McDonald's or somewhere like that. He was really a big spender.
Well, unless he took her on a date to a basketball game. Maybe that was the date. What was it, Coach?
No, that happens sometimes, too. No, we actually went to Evansville. She said I didn't have enough dress clothes.
Oh, okay.
Get some more dress clothes.
She's trying to clean you up, in other words.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll be wearing those dress clothes tonight in the Mule Barn as the Mules have the home opener against Cessavalier tonight. But before we get to that, let's talk about how you did up at the Capital Classic. You got second place. I know a little bit disappointed you didn't defend the title up there, but lost to a good Marshall team, but had to kind of deal with an injury and that sort of thing. But all in all, I'd say you got to be happy with the way the Mules played last weekend.
Yeah, not too bad. You know, every time we go up there, we play, some really good teams, and this year wasn't any different. I think the last time I looked at the rankings, Marshall was 6 or 8 in 2A. They have one of their better teams they've had in a while. But, my wife mentioned to me in our picture the other day, she said, hey, your kids in the picture didn't look happy, and that tells me something right there. A lot of times you get second, good tournament, and your kids are smiling, this and that. But they were disappointed a little bit. But, the one thing I reminded them last year, the team that got second at the Capital Classic went all the way to the Supers, and that was T-Town. So we're okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, tonight again, the home opener at the Mule Barn. And you got Cecil coming to town. They're a little bit different team than they were last year without Tyler Winchester there because, he was a load last year. And you don't have to contend with the big redhead this year. But still, Cecil will come in ready to play.
Yeah, very good player. Tyler, Ren Lake this year. I haven't really followed closely how he's doing, but, he could really shoot. And we had a great game with him over there last year. Coach does a good job with them. We picked them up last year. They made it all the way to Supers, and they're always a very competitive 1A team.
Yeah, they sure are. And then looking ahead on your schedule, of course, you got a lot of things coming up. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but of course we got the El Dorado Holiday Tournament, which I know you're looking forward to down the stretch. But next week you're also going to have Johnson City on the road. You got a home game with El Dorado. You got the Foxes coming in. You're going on the road at Edwards County, so you're going to get knee-deep into Black Diamond Conference action here right away.
We are, and there's a good chance El Dorado will come to town next Friday undefeated. So, they won the Vienna Classic to start the year for them for second time or third time in a row. And, just taking one game at a time. But, one of our goals this year was to win conference, and we've got that starting here before too long.
Mm-hmm. When's the seed meeting for the El Dorado tournament? Is that next week?
Yeah. Seed meeting is next Wednesday.
All right. See, you've got it written down on your calendar.
Yeah,
don't you?
It's going to be here before we know it.
And I've seen Harre and Carterville both play this year. Of course, they're going to be back at the El Dorado tournament this year. So Carterville looks pretty good.
Yeah, we saw them this summer. We played them actually in the championship. Maybe it was the Final Four of the Vandalia shootout. Coach Hawkins, he'll get those guys rolling, but they're getting better. Massac will be good too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to win the DuQuoin tournament.
Yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Massac's off to a real good start. You're absolutely right. So it's going to be a very, very competitive tournament down there at El Dorado this year. Dan, go ahead.
Well, Coach, looking at the tournament up there last week, how good is this Marshall team?
They're pretty good. Like I said, in my opinion, they've been going to the Capitol, for actually longer than we have. I think they're one of the first members to ever even be in the tournament or close to that. I think this is the best Marshall team they've had since they got third place with the Idle Twins, third place in state. So, they're pretty good. They've got good guards. They've got size. This was a team, or is a team they've been looking forward to for the last couple of years. But, in saying that, we were up a lot of that game. 7 minutes ago, Kane Hickson ball butts heads with the kid and doesn't get a chance to come back. It turns into an N1 for them, and it was a really good game.
Well, you mentioned Kane Hickson ball, and I want to elaborate on that a little bit. During that tournament up there at Lawrence County, he has really stepped up his game this year. He's gotten a lot stronger. I think playing football helped him with that as far as strength, and he seems to be playing with so much more confidence this year, Coach.
He does. Last year we obviously had a great season, and there's only 5 guys you can put out on the floor. There's only one ball. And this is something that, we've been looking forward to with Kane. He's grown a little bit. And as you said, he's got a little thicker, too. And he's not the only one we've had step up. But I think if we'd have won, he'd have definitely been the MVP of the tournament. We didn't. And the Tingley kid, who's very deserving, junior guard for them, was. But, a lot of people said, hey, that was a great game. They're a good team. It took a while for us to lose last year, which is a little different this time around, but hopefully that'll make us hungry, going the rest of the way out.
Well, Coach, looking at your team and looking at the Black Diamond Conference, you got to feel that you've got a good chance to be in probably the top one in that group. When you look at that Black Diamond East, El Dorado, like you said, they're undefeated, but the competition they've played is not what you've played so far to this season. So, when I sit here and look at things, it looks to me like the Fairfield Mules are the team the rest of the conference is chasing.
Well, I think so. We've been on both sides of that before. Being the underdog is pretty neat when you're going in and trying to upset the favorite. We know that we can't just go into any gym and just win, show up and win. So we know one game at a time we're going to have a target on our back, but, the kids are used to that and they're ready for it.
Well, we can't let you get away without expressing congratulations to you because you have eclipsed a very special mark at Fairfield Community High School. You're now the all-time winningest boys basketball coach at Fairfield. You eclipsed that mark here recently with a win. And what is that number now? Is it 248, 238, something like that?
I'm not for sure. 238, I think.
Okay, all right.
238, yeah.
But congratulations. That's quite a feat and many more to come.
Well, thanks. I said it on our radio station the other night. Coach Odom's one of my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a lot of good talks, like out at the golf course in the summer. I have a lot of respect for him and the things he did, and I always have said I'd trade a lot of wins for one of the things he has, and that's he was the coach that got the team to the Elite Eight.
Right.
We one game short last year, so that's kind of the goal.
Yeah, and in his first coaching stint, he had a heck of a team in 1969 too, with Jed Foster and those guys.
He did. He's got some great stories about playing them, and I think 2 or 3 of their losses that year were to Mount Vernon.
Yes, they were.
Very, very good. So. Yeah, I've seen old pictures, and he's got great stories from that.
Yeah, they played Mount Vernon 3 times that year, and Mount Vernon won 2 of the 3, and of course they beat them in the regional. But what I still can't get over, and people tell me about it, is the fact that the regional championship that year between Fairfield and Mount Vernon was played over at Albion, in Albion's gym. I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that.
What time did they stop selling tickets?
Yeah, I'm telling you, how in the world did they get everybody in there that wanted to see that one? I don't know. But
and Mount Vernon had some high-profile players back then.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They had guys that went on not only played college but also pros as well. So,
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, and we mentioned Jed Foster. Speaking of Foster, how about his son Scott Foster, also a former Mule, and he is being honored by the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association, going into the Hall of Fame. And he was your assistant there for a while, and you got to be happy and proud about that.
Well, that's actually Brian.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Scott helped us. And
right.
Brian, and Scott played on the Elite Eight.
Yes, I get those two confused. Yes, you're right. I get those two confused.
Yeah, so he's going in the IBC Hall of Fame this May. So
yeah.
That's neat, too. I think they live in Columbus or around there.
Mm-hmm.
So see him every once in a while.
Well, I think Mom and Dad, Jed and Debbie, are probably pretty proud of that. That's
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have since moved to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we see them, good people, good family. So that's neat.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, we've talked about this a little bit before, the fact that, this year 2A is going to be a lot tougher, Coach. You got some teams moving down to 2A that were not 2A before, such as Benton and some of those Clinton County teams like Breeze Mater Dei and Breeze Central. And now that we have an additional new radio audience here this morning, we got people listening in from Clinton County. So anything you want to say to the folks over there at Clinton County about 2A basketball?
We're not really, what I want to say, the Mater Dei beat us Friday and Saturday.
Uh-huh.
In volleyball and football, and they had 2 great teams.
Yes, they did.
We actually played them this summer, too, over at Carlisle. Once again, good basketball team. That's the goal. I mean, it's to play teams like that.
Sure.
If you can get to that level, you're playing really high-quality teams. We played Nashville and Pinckneyville later on this year, and
yes.
We know that, if we end up matching up against the Breeze or Mater Dei team, that's in a really good place, which is probably super. So, yeah, quality competition over there, it really doesn't matter what sport it is. It's really good.
Well, that's kind of been the theme so far this morning is beefing up schedules, and we had Coach Creel on from Mount Vernon earlier, and he was talking about some of the shootouts and teams that he's added this year to beefing up their schedule. And again, you've got Nashville on your schedule at the Benton shootout later on. You're also going to be playing Pinckneyville later on, and that's just going to make the Mules better. Win or lose, it's going to make you better.
I think so. And we played Mount Vernon this summer over our place. It was really neat to have Coach Creel and his team over, and they're good. So. And we played Carbondale, too. We beat them last night. So that South 7's a really tough conference.
Yeah.
So, And then next Saturday, I'll probably be in Edwardsville watching Pinckneyville play Chicago Ore. So, we step up our schedule, and these other teams, they do the same. But it's great. It's a great thing, great experience for the kids to be able to play in games like that.
It sure is. Well, hey, I'll see you over at the Mule Barn tonight, and good luck as you take on Cessavalier, and appreciate your time this morning, Coach, all right?
Hey, thank you, guys.
Okay.
Good luck, Coach.
Take care. All righty. Bye-bye. Hey, it's Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules, 32-3 last year, and while they lost some key ingredients to that team, they sure got a lot of them back, Danny, and so far playing really, really well. And
there's not going to be anybody feel sorry for him if he loses. I can assure you that.
Well, I think, like you said, they got to be the favorite to win the Black Diamond Conference this year. Yeah. All right. Hey, when we come back, we're going to visit with the Waggoner. That's right. Coach Wayne Harre of the Nashville Hornets. They won the championship of that tournament last night, the Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic, and they got another big game tonight. We'll talk to Coach Harre about that coming up in just a moment here, live on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 WILY Centralia. All coming up on the Sports Couch.
When there's no time to be sick, let SSM Health help you feel better faster. For just $25, you can consult an SSM Health provider online about most minor illnesses. Just answer a few questions, receive your treatment plan, and a prescription if needed. It's that easy. Virtual visits are available to everyone. No insurance is required. Start the healing from home at ssmhealth.com/virtual visit.
Mortgage rates have dropped. Hi, this is Megan Kenke, mortgage originator with People's National Bank. With the wide variety of loan products we have to offer, and with mortgage rates this low, now's the perfect time to buy a home or refinance your current home. Stop by and see me, Megan Kenke, to take advantage of these low rates before it is too late. People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC, equal housing lender, loans subject to credit approval.
According to FoxBusiness.com, automobile insurance providers estimate that on average, a person will experience 3 to 4 auto collisions in a lifetime. So the big question is, how do you know where to bring your vehicle after you've been in an accident? This is Chase Landers from Landers Towing and Collision Centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. It's easy for me to say that Landers is where you should always consider anytime you've suffered damage to your vehicle. And here's why. Not only do we offer limited lifetime warranty on all repairs and refinishes, but we also complete the repairs using the highest quality refinish products the market has to offer. Landers is also a direct repair facility for most insurance carriers, and in many cases provide a courtesy vehicle or easier access to a rental. We understand what it's like to be in a bind. If unfortunate circumstances fall upon you, we offer prompt RV collision repair services, towing, and heavy-duty towing and collision as well. That's why we feel comfortable saying we're the best. So come see the professionals in Mount Vernon and Salem, or feel free to look us up at landersauto.com. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Well, last night in the championship game of the Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic, Nashville Hornets took care of business. They beat Mascoutah last night to capture the first place trophy by a score of 52-32. And now the Hornets are going to turn around and play again tonight in shootout down at Marion. Let's find out all about it right now with the head coach of the Nashville Hornets, and that's Wayne Harre. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Good to have you on the show. Congratulations on the win last night and a great start to the season. And, boy, considering that, a lot of these guys reached your basketball team late due to the football success, I think you got to be happy the way things are starting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, I didn't know how things were going to react, or, we didn't know how many players we were going to have. And especially that first week when our football team was getting ready for the state title game.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we had to bring some freshmen up and some sophomores that weren't playing football. So had no juniors on the team and had 3 seniors. So, that first week was we tried to keep it as simple as possible. And, I thought we battled pretty hard and did a good job defending. That was always my biggest concern, how we would defend and how physical we would be with the younger kids out there. But I thought they bought into it and did a good job of helping us out. And then, Then following week we brought him back on that Monday, and just we didn't do a whole lot. I was talking to Coach Love from Mascoutah. He's got kind of the same situation for a game last night, and he was asking me, "How are you doing?" I said, "Well, I was going to ask you how you're doing." I said, "I'm not sure how to get him. We're trying to get him in shape, and then we're trying to go over everything, and you don't have enough time, especially in high school. You can't keep kids there for 3.5 hours, and that's just not me. You can't do that stuff. So
yeah."
Or 3 hours. I mean, you get 2.5 or 2. That's plenty. I don't. You got to get them home. And, so he said, "Yeah, it's kind of a learning experience for me." I said, "Yeah, we're just trying to get through it. And this next week we'll have like 3 days of practice. So hopefully we'll get some things done next week."
Yeah. Well, it's a tough problem to have, but it's also a good problem to have your football team go to the state championship game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it was great for our community. It was great for our kids. It's a once in a lifetime usually.
Sure.
Next year we're going to be. I think we'll be pretty good in football again, and hopefully. And but it's still, you never know what happens. You can always get beat. But it was great for our kids. It's the first time we've been there since '98. It was just a great experience for our kids, and to play in a state title game like that, and then to enjoy the whole ride. The football's a little bit of a different monster. I know it's, I talk about basketball. It's a little different monster when you're battling every week and you're getting hit and everything like that. And then you think about playing 14 games in a high school. That's a lot of games in a year, let me tell you.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. Well, you've done something pretty rare there. The fact that you've played in a state championship game in basketball and in football within the same calendar year. That doesn't happen very often. I mean, I know East St. Louis has done it, Belleville-Altoff's done it, and back in the 80s, Carlisle did it, but that's just how rare it is, Coach. And so it's great for your community and your school to accomplish something like that, to play for a state title in basketball and football within the same calendar year. Yeah,
I mean, that's how fortunate we are here, with our community right now, and making the runs, the postseason runs that we have, and as like I said before, a team can always get beat in the post. You just never know what happens, when you get upset or just lose to a better team. And but again, it's great for our school right now, and our kids are pretty excited right now. So, but it's a wear and tear thing. Again, in basketball we went quite a ways, and then they kind of set the baseball back a little bit. And our baseball, had a nice postseason run, and then again in football, they go to state title. So it's a wear and tear for our kids. But again, they enjoy it. Hey, they're 17, 18-year-olds. We've been like that. We would love doing that too. So when you're 17, 18-year-olds playing all those postseason games, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what they all work for, is to get to that point. But to just change the subject a little bit, Wayne, I was at a restaurant here a few weeks ago at Mount Vernon having supper with my wife, and an older couple come in, and we got to visit with them. They were from Nashville. And I said to this gentleman, well, how do you think the Nashville Hornets are going to be? He said, I think we'll be pretty good, but he said, it'll depend if Wayne can get him to guard. He said, if he can get him to guard. I said, now, think about what you just said. And his wife, she kind of laughed. She said, I was thinking the same thing when he said that, if Wayne can get him to guard.
Well, yeah, I mean, that we like to try to guard here if we can, what I'm saying. So, and I was, of all the things right now, we guarded pretty well in that tournament. And, the other things, the organization wasn't very good and things like that. But as of right now, we did guard pretty well. We rebounded pretty well. And, I'm just pretty fortunate the kids have bought into it, trying to guard people. And I appreciate that for our kids, for kids that are playing for me. That's not the glamour job, as we all know. And, but they bought into it, and hopefully that we can keep doing that. Now tonight's going to be a different. It's going to be a tough chore for us trying to guard the Marion Wildcats.
Yeah, Jackson Connor, that's the guy you want to guard tonight.
yeah. He can score. He can score some points in different ways.
He can.
He's a special player, and they've got him, and they've got some other players that are pretty good too. And real physical. So it'll be a big test for our defense. We'll see what we can do tonight.
Yeah, they put it on Cahokia last night. I think Connor had about 27, and I think he had about 15 rebounds too. So he had quite a game.
Well, I'll guarantee you he'll know the Nashville Hornets are in the gym when they leave.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and see what happens with him. But he's a tough matchup. When you're 6'6" and he can go on the perimeter and shoot it, and
right?
Go in there and post and play in the post, and then he passes it out well too. So, he's a tough matchup, especially in high school basketball. It's hard for to try to get people to guard him. So we'll see what we can do with it, and hopefully we'll play well down there. It's the first time we've ever been. Of all, we were talking last night with assistant coaches there. I think it's the first time Nashville has been to Marion.
Really?
First time we've ever been that. Yeah. It's
wow.
The first time of all the years, you would think that somehow we would meet them or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the first time we've ever played Marion High School.
I'll be darned. Well, that's a nice, big, spacious gym down there, Cuss Wilson Gym. You guys will love it, and I'm sure your Nashville Hornet fans will fill up at least one side of the place too.
Well, it's what I scouted there a few times. Well, the girls we played them. I think a couple of years there. We had a home and home series with them, and so we played them, and I've coached there. But it's a nice. I told everybody it's a nice facility. It's got a lot of history there, and it's a neat gym.
Yeah, it's a big, spacious gym. Yep, sure is. Yep, it'd be nice. Well, from the team last year that made it to the state championship game, Coach, how many returning guys do you have from the team last year?
Well, right now we got two starters coming back. Tristan Hercules, our point guard, and Carson Parker. They started on the state on the state runner-up team, and
right.
They're playing okay. And then Terry Pelchinski is our other senior starter right now, and he came off the bench for us and gave us quality minutes last year. So those three are playing. The Anderson kid who came off the bench broke his foot, so he won't be around until maybe mid-January. I think they're talking. He broke his foot first week of practice, and so he's out. So those are the four main ones that played, and now the other ones we're kind of putting in. We've got some football players that have come back. We got Jackson Goforth as junior. He came back. He didn't play hardly at all for us last year. And, we got Buzz Ritzel, football player, that came back. He's a kind of a guard, swing guy. He's playing a little bit for us. And then we've got a sophomore that Nolan Hagemeyer that's starting right now for us. He can shoot it okay. And so those are the kind of rotation we're going in. We got another player, Isaac Turner, that's got his knee is banged up. He's a sophomore that'll give us some minutes. So he's out for a while, maybe till Christmas because of the football situation. And we've got Bryce Donato, another football player that's kind of banged up, but he is playing. So it's kind of a makeshift lineup right now, and but that's kind of where we're at, guys. It's again, those football players play about 2 minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you; they play about 2 minutes and they're gassed. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a work in progress here, and it's a tough situation for us just because of the conditioning wise. Because when they get tired, it's hard to play, and so we're trying to just limit their minutes and just kind of milk them through here till Christmas, and hopefully by after Christmas they'll all be in shape.
Coach, people don't understand what you're talking about right there. They're thinking, hey, these kids just come through a 14-game football season, but the muscles and everything you use is completely different than basketball. And basketball, you got to go from where you're just trying to knock the heck out of a guy to being a kind of a finesse deal, and it's a big adjustment. Yeah,
if you don't realize it, and as how football is now, and everybody's trying to stay healthy. So we all understand they're not conditioning the last month of the season. They're just they're probably rehabbing injuries and then walking through and then getting ready to play. So they don't do any conditioning, which is totally understandable. That's what you do. You don't want to get anybody hurt out there. So so they don't get to do much. And then I know that Monday, we were just doing drill work, and they were just that's all they could do, And I said, hey, it's just one of those things, guys. You gotta try to get better in practice doing that. Even in the drill work, you got to push yourself, because I can't be just, as a coach, you just can't run them. That doesn't do it. It's all this stop and start and stuff. That's what gets you tired. That's my opinion. It's not just the running. It's stop, start, and then get your body going again. So it's kind of, they're going to have to just play it out. Sometimes you have to get in shape playing and things like that. And the other thing, guys, and that's what we were talking about. I was talking to Coach Love about it. The 31 games is fine, when it's all about playing games. But I tell you what, now if you got a football team that goes long, you don't have much practice time or conditioning wise. It's tough on kids. You know what I'm saying? And you're playing all the time. That's a tough deal, guys, and people don't realize that until if you got a football team that makes a run,
right?
And because you're playing, there's not much downtime. You're always, because you're trying. You kind of schedule those games. You do the best you can schedule, but there's not much practice time anymore.
No, that's right.
No, there's not a lot of time to work on things and make adjustments. Everything's done on the fly anymore.
Yeah, and you don't, and if you make a run, you don't have any preseason. And this year, we only had 2 weeks, and then we were playing, and the Mosquito tournament started the first day of the year.
Right.
First day, so we had 2 weeks. That's all we had in preseason, and that might be the shortest it's been for. Maybe it was like that last year, but it seemed like it. That's short. The girls' season starts the same time as the boys, but they got an extra week. So that makes a big difference. I think it does, especially for the boys.
We are talking to Coach Wayne Harre, the Nashville Hornets, and the Hornets will play tonight in the Marion Wildcat shootout against the host Marion Wildcats. You've got the 7:30 game tonight, don't you, Coach? Right after the Harre and Graves Kentucky game, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're the last one on the
docket
tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're the last one in there. Now, is this? You guys might know this. Is this the first year? They didn't have one last year.
I think they did have one last year, but I don't think it was quite as large. I think there's more games this year, and it all starts at 12 noon today. And Centralia is going to be down there in the 1:30 game today. They play Gateway Legacy Academy. Alton's going to play Paducah Tillman. That'll be a good one at 3 o'clock. Carbondale against Champaign Central at 4:30. Harre against Graves Kentucky at 6, and then you've got the Marion Wildcats at 7:30. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good shootout. I think we're going to. I understand. I think we're going to play in it. I think we're supposed to play in it next year, and I think it'll be good for our fans to go down there and like I say, play in Wilson Gymnasium and play different teams, and kind of looking forward to going down there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Wayne, we appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck tonight down at Marion, and make sure you guard Jackson Connor. Okay.
Yeah, we'll give it our best shot, guys. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Right.
I always enjoy it. You know that. So.
Okay, thanks so much.
Wayne.
Have a
good luck.
One. All right, bye-bye.
You bet. Thank you.
Head coach Wayne Harre of the Nashville Hornets. Oh, they're playing okay. Oh, they're doing fine. I love it how he's a sandbagger.
Like I said, the older couple we was eating with, the gentleman said, "Well, if Wayne can get him to guard," and his wife immediately just started to snicker over there. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see how they do guard Jackson Connor tonight. And he's right though. Connor is a concern when you got a guy 6'6" who can step out on the perimeter and hit the three, and he's very good at it. So it's hard if you're going to try to guard him with a 5'9" guy.
Well, that's what creates the problem.
Sure.
If you put a guard or a smaller person on him to take care of the perimeter, he just takes them to the post, and then it's just double trouble. But, hey, before we get to the next thing, there's something I was asked to mention here.
All right.
On Friday, December the 13th, at the Hamilton County Foxes game between the varsity and JV game, the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association is going to present Hamilton County with a 1,500 win plaque.
Great.
And they're encouraging all past players and coaches to come to accept this plaque between games.
That's awesome. They did that last night at Carbondale, and I think they also did it last night at Marion. And last year they did it at Mount Vernon. So a lot of schools around here have reached that plateau of at least 1,500 wins now and are being recognized by the IBCA, and I think that's really cool. Hey, again, want to remind you that every Monday night you can catch the CHS Coaches Show with Lee Bennett, hosted by Ryan Roddy. That's on sister station X95. That's 95.3 FM. You can hear Coach Bennett break down the previous week's games and look forward to the following week as he sits down with Ryan Roddy every Monday night at 6 p.m. That's the CHS Coaches Show with Lee Bennett of the Centralia Orphans every Monday night at 6 p.m. on X95. Also want to tell you about the new website put together by Withers Broadcasting called Section618.com, home of the best seats for Southern Illinois high school sports. You recognize that guy on the screen, and that's Darren Kennard, longtime sports guy at WSIL-TV Channel 3. Well, he's joined the Withers Broadcasting crew now, and Section618.com website has been launched. You'll find video highlights on there, along with broadcast schedules of all the Withers Broadcasting radio stations covering teams throughout Southern Illinois. You'll also find features on there called Martin's Moments, and, of course, a nightly scoreboard. That's Section618.com. If you've not yet checked it out, we encourage you to do so, and I think it'll be something that you're definitely going to enjoy. Well, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to visit with Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions. He joins us next on the Sports Couch right here on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY.
Here's Jeff Miller from Holes Hours.
Employee pricing for everyone. You don't have to work there. You can just come in and get it. Listen to this. New 19 Dodge Journey, third row seat, $16,995. That's brand new. Get in here.
Tax, title, license, and dock not included. Rebates and discounts have been applied. See us on Facebook or go to holeshours.com. Save on all new Chrysler inventory during the Black Friday sales event at Holes Hour Auto and Motorsports, Route 127 North in Nashville.
Get your degree from Kaskaskia College, and your earning potential increases by $10,000 per year on average compared to those with a high school diploma. KC has plenty of high-demand career and college transfer programs, so you're sure to find one that's right for you. And dollar for dollar, KC is the most affordable education around. So why are you waiting? Call Kaskaskia College, 545-3040, and get started. Spend less, learn more, go farther. Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
Car accidents happen every day. When the unexpected does happen to you, call the professionals at Cooter Auto Body. Brent and Greg Cooter are ASE, PPG, and GM certified, and they can offer free estimates. From minor dents to fender benders to major collisions, Cooter Auto Body is the one to call when the unexpected happens to you. Cooter Auto Body is always ready to get you back on the road at 403 North Locust in Centralia. Call Cooter Auto Body today at 532-1520.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on AreaSports.net and also live on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY and also streaming on WILY1210.com. I'm Randy Olson along with Danny Anselment. Still to come on the show, we're going to visit with Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers, and we'll also talk to Coach Bob Waggoner of the Pinckneyville Panthers. That's all coming up here on the show. Right now, though, we want to visit with Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions as he joins us on the Sports Couch. Good morning. How's it going, Russ?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Great. Good to have you on the show. And I'm going back to my scoreboard. You guys, of course, had a win last night over Sisney, 48-41. I know you picked up a win earlier this year against Grayville. Had some tough going up there at the Lawrence County Capital Classic, some tough competition up there, but still got you a couple wins on the season, and I'm sure you're trying to build from that.
Yeah, we definitely had a rough time of it up there at a Thanksgiving tournament there at Lawrenceville and Red Hill, but hopefully the whole thing, a good competition will make you better, and we definitely played some good competition up there. We're happy to win our first two home games of the year against Grayville. Had a pretty good comeback against them there the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then played a tough Sisney team last night. I know that they don't have the wins to show for it, but they always play hard every night. We were lucky enough to get a win last night.
Yeah, Kevin Bowen always does a great job up there with Sisney. He's going to have his guys ready to play. Walk us through how that went last night. You won it by 7, 48-41. Did you lead it wire to wire, or was it back and forth?
I think in the first half for sure it was neck and neck. It was tied 20-20 at halftime. I think we got up by maybe 4 in the first half, somewhere in there, and they tied it there at halftime. And third quarter, we just kind of slowly pulled away. I think we got to 3 or 4 at the end of the third, and I think we stretched it out to 8 at one point. I believe they cut it back to 2, and then we made a couple shots, and we shot the free throws very well last night. We were 14 for 16, and a lot of those were in the fourth quarter down the stretch when they were behind trying to foul. And, pretty happy the way we finished the game.
Well, how many guys are returning off that team last year? I know you lost some guys for sure from graduation, a lot of points missing from last year's team, but how many are returning?
Well, I'll say going to that part first. Yeah, we lost, I think, 95% of our points and 92% of our rebounds from last year. So, yeah, we lost a lot. Camden Calger's been a 2-year starter. He's back and he's starting again. And then, Andrew Rotrammel's had to start on and off the last couple of years due to injuries. Well, he tore his ACL in baseball, so he's not going to be back until probably sometime in January. So right now we've got 4 brand new starters on the floor. We've got some guys coming off the bench that have never played the varsity game. So it's every moment right now is a learning experience for our guys for sure.
Well, Coach, being at a small school with a smaller enrollment, injuries and things like that really sometimes play havoc with a team and makes you have to make some major adjustments.
Absolutely. We after last season, looking at the kids we had coming back, you kind of start making plans there. Even in March, you take a little bit of a day or two off, but then you start thinking about the next season. And, I felt like I had some plans. The coaching staff, we all got together and we had some ideas what we wanted to do. And then, we get a guy hurt, and then we also had another player get hurt right before the season started in open gym, broke a wrist. So, we've had to really make a lot of adjustments on the fly, and definitely some of the stuff we were doing over the summer looked pretty good, but it seemed like once the season got going, it didn't look so good. It looked really bad, to be honest with you. So we had to make some changes this week, and I felt like we looked a lot better last night. I won't say that we played great by any means, but we definitely looked a lot better.
Well, that's good.
Well, Coach, when like you said, you got a lot of guys coming back with no experience. You got kids that have never played at the varsity level, and no matter what people say, there's a big difference from playing in freshman and JV games to stepping up to the varsity level.
Oh, absolutely. You look at, even some of the tougher JV games that we had last year against, like a Carmi, Fairfield, El Dorado, some of those guys, and then you jump into the Capital Classic and you got to play Mount Carmel, who's got Appleby at 6. I don't know what he is now, 6'7". You got Lawrenceville, who just has a ton of athletes and are well coached, and they got a lot of experience. And then you go against Marshall, who won the whole thing, and I think they're ranked in the top 10 or better in the state. It's tough competition for kids who haven't even played a varsity game yet. So, it's one of those where, you don't want to, you want to stay positive at times. At the same time, you got to let them know that some of the stuff that they're doing is not good enough to be successful. And, you still got to keep working to fix some of those mistakes and everything. And, Monday we watched film of one of our games from the weekend, which we could have picked any of the 4. We just picked one of them, and I said, this is some of the things we're doing wrong. And I think once they saw what they were doing, some of them were pretty embarrassed, I think, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that made for a great week of practice. I think we had 3 of the best days of practice we've had in a long time. And, the effort and the intensity and such was much, much better last night. Like I said, I won't claim that we didn't shoot the ball great. And, we still had way too many turnovers, but the effort and the intensity was definitely much, much better.
Well, one thing about the film doesn't lie, so when you show them game film, it is what it is, right?
Oh, well, as I say, they come to the huddle and they tell you something that happened out there, and you say, no, I don't think so. And they're like, oh, yeah. Then you watch it on film, and you're like, now tell me what happened.
Yeah.
And they kind of, they slowly drop their head, quit talking, and they wanted to basically just say, yeah, you're right, I messed up on that. So It's definitely a good learning tool. We're going to watch some more this morning after the weight room and hopefully get some things fixed again from last night that we still be a little bit better on, and then also we got to start getting ready for next week.
Yeah, next week you got the Floral Wolves. You're going up to Conley Gym to go up against your good friend and former sidekick there, Coach, and that'll be a good matchup.
Sidekick, but
yeah,
I think I was a sidekick. But if we want to call him my sidekick, that's fine.
Well, it's all right. He's a good guy to have as a sidekick, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a great guy, one of the best.
Yeah, Phil Lee, we're talking about. Yep.
We were talking about the schedule though. I'd have to do a little bit of research to find out for sure, but I feel like as a 1A school, we have to have one of the toughest schedules of anybody because all of our conference games are 2A. We've got at least 2 or 3, if not 4, non-conference 2A games. Our 3 tournaments are the Capital Classic, El Dorado, and Carmi. So, we're going to get these guys toughened up by the end of the season, and by the time regionals roll around, we're not too worried about good competition. But I definitely think we're going to continue to have some growing pains between now and then. But it's part of life, part of sports is going through the adversity, and hopefully meeting the challenge and getting better.
Well, you're probably happy that you have dropped down into 1A, though, this year, aren't you? I mean, that's an advantage.
Naturally, we're happy about that when it comes to regional time, but at the same time, I've told some people they don't realize how good some of the 1A schools in our area is. You know,
right.
We've already played Red Hill, and they beat us. Wayne City just scored hit the century mark last night on Grayville.
Right.
Woodlawn is in the championship game going against Pinckneyville tonight, that tournament. You know, Goreville's a load down south, so it's not like it's going to be a cupcake city when you get to the 1A regional.
And then dropping down to 1A this year, you've got St. Anthony and KC Westfield also dropping down to 1A.
And they're really good, too.
And they're both loaded, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to check out that Goreville team tonight. They'll be taking on the Benton Rangers about 7:30, and if nobody stubs their toes, that'll be for the championship down there tonight. I'll have that on FoxesFans.net. Should be a great game, and it'll be a big atmosphere.
I'll probably catch that tomorrow. My son plays at 5 for the Consolation Championship at Wayne City's junior high tournament, and then
cool.
I think I'm just going to stop on the way home and watch Fairfield and Sesser at Fairfield.
Right.
But, I'll definitely try to watch that tomorrow if there's no good NFL games on.
Okay. All right, Russ, hey, we appreciate your time today, and best of luck as you prepare for the Flora Wolves next week, and we'll be talking to you down the line, okay?
Yep. Well, I appreciate you calling and any chance to talk about our team.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions. Good win for them last night over the Sisney Running Lions. They're now 2-3, or 2-3 and 2 or 4. 2 and 4. Yeah, 2 and 4. Yeah, because they went winless up there at
Capital Classic.
So they're 2 and 4 on the season, and they'll take on the Flora Wolves next. And he makes a good point. They're 1A this year, and almost everybody on their schedule is 2A.
Well, nobody knew that they was going to get bumped around at this magnitude that it occurred at. So, hey, you get better playing better people.
That's right, and it seems to be kind of a theme that we've had this morning on the show, too. Stay tuned when we come back. We're going to talk to Coach Bob Waggoner of the Pinckneyville Panthers. They're in the championship game tonight at the Kaskaskian Tournament at Carlisle. They'll take on the Woodlawn Cardinals. We'll talk to Coach Waggoner about that and so much more as the Sports Couch continues here live on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY.
It's Black Friday all month at Munkin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with Employee Pricing Plus. Save over $11,000 on select 2019 Ram, 1500 Rebels, over $7,000 on select 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limiteds, or find financing for 84 months on some models. Employee Pricing Plus means you're practically family at Munkin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Centralia and Munkin1.com. Don't forget the 4th annual Munkin's North Pole event, Saturday, December 7th.
I grew up with my dad's voice saying, "Come on, walk it off." Well, I hurt my knee last fall, and the x-ray looked okay, so I ignored the pain. But weeks later, it still hurt, and I couldn't play ball with my son, and that really hurt. My doctor recommended a visit to the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois for an MRI, and they found the problem and how to get well. Come on, son, let's play ball.
Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois has the technology and specialists you can depend on. Call 242-3778 or visit orthocenter-si.com.
Experience the difference of a Spartan mower. Spartan not only looks amazing on and off the lawn, it's innovative with optional features like GT Track for precision traction, balance, and control, radial front tires, and an all-new 360 floating seat system for an incredibly comfortable ride. Take command of your yard. Take command of your time. Join the family of one of the fastest-growing mower companies in the world.
Get your Spartan mower today only at A&B Outdoor Equipment in Centralia.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on AreaSports.net and on Super Hits 1210 and 98.7 WILY, and also streaming on WILY1210.com. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Tonight is the championship game of the Kaskaskian Tournament over at Carlisle, and what a championship game it promises to be. Pinckneyville Panthers will be taking on the Woodlawn Cardinals, and joining us on the phone right now is the head coach of the Panthers, and that's Bob Waggoner. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on this morning.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, and you've got to be excited about this game tonight and this matchup against Woodlawn, and it's going to be a good test for your team and a good test for them as well, and should be just a heavyweight battle.
Well, I think it's just, like you said, an early season test with two good basketball teams that are have a lot of kids that have been playing varsity basketball for the last few years. Both teams are pretty senior-oriented, and I expect it to be a great game and a really good atmosphere there in Carlisle.
How many starters do you have returning to the Panthers this year from your team a year ago that had all that success?
Well, out of the 14 kids that dressed varsity last year, we only had 2 seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So, we like to play 8 to 10 kids, so, we start different lineups, but, I would say that we have at least 7 kids with varsity experience coming back.
That's awesome. You had a great record of 26-6 last year, and having those 7 guys back, that means a lot because not only are you counting on them, but they're also leadership for those other younger guys, too, aren't they?
Well, yeah, and the thing is they understand, the expectations of the program, and they show that to the younger players. And really, with this group, they set the standard. I mean, they come to practice every day to work, and they try to learn and do the things that we ask them to do. And it's just overall, they're good basketball players, even better young men.
Randy, I didn't realize that they had high expectations over at Pinckneyville. Did you?
I think they always have high expectations over there at Pinckneyville. And you've done just a tremendous job since you took over after legendary Dick Korn, and you're kind of building a legend yourself there, Coach Waggoner, as you've had a lot of success. And tonight's matchup with Woodlawn is interesting because Woodlawn also returns 4 of 5 starters from a year ago. They had a guy that missed a lot last year due to injury, and he's back, and so they're playing well. And you're off to a great start. Not only have you reached this title game in this tournament, but you start off the season with a big win against West Frankfort, and you handled the Redbirds pretty handily.
Well, I mean, it was nice to get the game in before the tournament to kind of see where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have an experienced team, you can play more games early and really test them a little bit and make easier adjustments. And I thought that we had great energy here for our first home game. I thought Frankfort was actually, even though the score was indicative of the type of team they were, I thought they really had some good guard play. I thought they were unselfish with the ball, and they defended well. And we just had a very good night. And I think it's helped them once we played them in their season and played some very good basketball since then.
Yeah, they have, and they're going to beat some people this year. There's no question about it. They are. Yeah. Hey, you've got some other things coming up on your schedule, too, as we can look beyond tonight's game. You're going to be involved in the Edwardsville shootout here coming up here real soon. Who are you going to play in that?
Well, we have tonight's game, and then Friday we play our first conference game against Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturday night, we play Chicago Ore, the number 1 team in the state. They're at Edwardsville at 5 o'clock in their showcase. And Edwardsville, most people know, has won the last 3 2A state championships. So it's a big challenge for us, but we're going to take them one at a time, and our focus is definitely on tonight.
Well, it's kind of been a theme today on the Sports Scout show is that every coach we've had on has been talking about, how they've beefed up their schedule and you want to play better people to make yourself better. And the same is true for your Pinckneyville Panthers. That's how you get better, is by playing good people.
Well, I mean, if your goal is to win a state championship, you have to play at a high level, and you have to find out where you're at as a team, and you have to challenge yourself. And, sometimes whether you win or you lose, you play against the game, and I think it'll be a great experience for our kids to go against high-level competition and see where they're at. And then, as coaches, then we can judge things and make adjustments and really try to, find ways that we can get better on different things by being tested that way.
Mm-hmm. And this Woodlawn team that you're playing tonight, they're also going to be coming to your Duster Thomas Classic, the holiday tournament later on this year, December 26th through the 28th. That's a great addition to your tournament. It's going to be good for them, and I think good for you as well.
Oh, we're excited about our tournament. We're going to seed it after this week when these post-Thanksgiving tournaments get done, and we're really looking at, with we see the top 8 teams, and as addition of Woodlawn, we had Mount Carmel, Carlisle, and Mounds Meridian coming in their tournament, so it's a 16-team bracketed tournament, and we're excited. I think Woodlawn's going to be a great addition. Their fan base, their tradition, these other additions to our tournament just made. I think our tournament has become one of the premier 2A tournaments, in the state.
Well, and then with the facility you got, it's a great place to play basketball and a great place to broadcast from and watch from. As a spectator, that is a great gym to be in.
Well, thank you.
Yep, sure is.
Well, Coach, I saw you down at Goreville last night checking out a little of the competition down there. What did you think of the play down there last night?
Well, first of all, what a great crowd they had down there. They good basketball. Got to watch a little bit of Goreville play against Hamilton County, and then I got to, of course, watch Benton and Anna play, who we have coming up. I thought all 4 teams played extremely hard and trying to execute what their coaches wanted them to do, and really, I was extremely impressed with Goreville. from just a basketball standpoint of watching them and their bodies and the amount of depth they have, they could really have the makeup to have a really special year.
Yeah, I was down there broadcasting the game. I didn't see you till I went to get a drink or something there, and all right, I had you come down. But I was like you. This Goreville team is pretty impressive. They got some size. They got some great guard play. In 1A, you better be paying a little bit of attention if you're thinking you're going to make a run there, because Goreville's going to be in that mix. But the Benton Rangers come out last night, and their defensive effort, I thought, was the best effort they've had all week.
Well, I think Benton's a very, very good team. They've got length. They've got the addition of the Johnson kid at guard who gives them another playmaker. They've got a little bit of depth. They're without one of their better players, the shooter,
Lewis.
Last night, Lewis. And I think, Coach Winemiller does a great job with that program. And, the big thing for them will be, of course, like it is with everybody, developing that 7th, 8th guy and staying away from injuries and getting the kids to buy into playing, on the defensive end. And Benton's well on their way to doing those things.
And, of course, the Benton Rangers are dropping down into 2A as well, along with you and several of the others. And, of course, Mater Day and some other teams are dropping down to 2A this year. So it's going to be very competitive in 2A this year, isn't it?
Well, 2A is hard. It's just, the state has changed some of the numbers with that. That's just what you live with, and they've changed some of the geographical directions that teams go for their sectional complexes, and you just have to do what they tell you. And the big thing is and we always tell our kids, you want to play great people, but you play against the game. And as long as you take care of the ball and you do the things you're supposed to do, then it doesn't really matter who you play. And, I really think that this year's going to be one of those things that the teams can stay focused and continue to build through into January is going to have the best shot, because you're going to see a lot of teams that are going to kind of lose that focus as they go, because, the leagues are better. I really think basketball as a whole, after watching things, is better this year than what it's been in a while in Southern Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too, Coach. I have not witnessed a bunch of games so far yet this season, but what I'm seeing around looks to me like all levels has come up a notch.
I agree. I think there's better individual players. I think there's some very good talented players that have a chance to play on in college after high school, and I really think that there's a lot of teams that the last couple of years have kind of been growing. They've been younger, and they're more senior laden, and there's going to be some great competition in the postseason this year.
We're talking to Coach Bob Waggoner of the Pinckneyville Panthers. Coach, I want to give you a chance to talk about your Panther Showcase coming up on February 1st, a shootout event. Tell us who you got coming to that.
Well, we haven't set the brackets yet, but we have some staples in it, like Mater Day and Centralia and Marion, of course, ourselves. This year we've added in Fairfield, Mount Carmel, Waltonville will be here. I'm trying to think of, you caught me off guard a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Trying to think of some of the other teams. We try to get about 7 games there and set that. I know that we're set to play Fairfield in the nightcap. Who is a very good 2A team. We're sponsored there in that by First National Bank, and they do a great job of promoting that tournament. We usually wait till after the Christmas tournaments to kind of set those brackets and see where everybody's at as far as who would be good matchups. We also have teams out of St. Louis coming. Whitfield, who had Torrance Watson, went to Missouri 2 years ago, coming. They're a very good program. So you get a lot of different games. We also, I want to think too, we had Mount Pulaski coming down from the central part of the state, 1A, that wants to play one of the better 1A schools. So it's just, you get a little bit of everybody from different parts of the state, and it's just a great day of basketball that you get in and really see a lot of different teams play.
Yeah, that's awesome. We had Coach McElravy of Fairfield on the show with us earlier this morning. He was really looking forward to coming over there for the shootout, so that's going to be great for them too.
I think it's a great matchup for both schools.
And then you're also in the O'Fallon shootout on February 7th. Do you have any idea who the Panthers are going to play at that?
Yeah, we play in the nightcap at the last game. We play Bloomington Central Catholic, who we played 2 years ago at the state tournament.
Yeah, another cupcake.
Another cup, yeah.
Coach, man, I tell you what, the guy that's doing your scheduling for you, he's doing you a lot of favors.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy's very smart or not. So, but it's one of those things where you can have a great record, not challenge yourself, or you can challenge yourself and work your way through that. And we feel this team has the capabilities to go very far, and we want to challenge them and try to get the most along the way to roadmap this kind of figure out where we can do things and improve and work on things. And I think the only way you can do that is to be challenged, and we're going to definitely be challenged with this schedule.
Yeah, no, you really are.
Yeah, I was kidding Randy here a while back. I said, well, Pinckneyville must be going to be pretty good this time. And he said, well, they always are, aren't they? And I said, well, probably more than you realize. And he said, well, why would you say that? I said, well, I read in the Post-Dispatch where they'd done an interview with you about a shootout you was going to play in, and you said you thought your Panthers were going to be pretty good. And for Bobby Waggoner to say he thought his Panthers was going to be pretty good, they're real good. I can tell you that.
Yeah, the kids will tell you I usually don't ever say anything about, having a chance to do things. I usually look at things the other way. But at the same time, I think that as a group they've kind of earned that right to feel that way. And last year going through what we had with injuries and different things and still to perform the way they did, I thought that if we get through that our mental toughness is pretty good. And if kids can mentally handle things and they can handle their success and adversity, you got a chance to be good, and this group has done that.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, and I'll touch on one of my favorite pet peeves is behind this group of kids, student athletes you have. I bet you have a great group of parents.
Oh, they're fantastic. I've said that over and over. The success that Pinckneyville basketball has is because of the community and the parents working with you to have their kids be able to do the things we ask them to do. And we have a great group of people. We have a great administration. It's just I can't say how lucky I am to be here and how proud I am to be the coach. And it's just been a fantastic experience for me and my family.
Well, we appreciate your time, as always, on the show this morning, Coach, and best of luck tonight in that game against Woodlawn. Should be a doozy there at Carlisle, a championship of the Kaskaskin tournament, and we'll talk to you throughout the season, hopefully, okay?
All right, we appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Right. It's Coach Bob Waggoner of the Pinckneyville Panthers, also the athletic director down there, and, wow, they've definitely made themselves a tough schedule this year, but again, he sees the opportunity, and you want to make yourself as prepared as possible.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask him, but they had a scare about 10 days or 2 weeks ago. Dawson Yates, one of their young men that is quite an athlete in practice, they thought he might have broke his wrist, but it come out it was just a really bad sprain. So, and he dealt with injuries last season, so he's a pretty tough kid.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we got one more guest on the show, and that's going to be Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers. They're off to a good start. Big win last night against AJ. Good defensive effort. We'll talk to Coach Winemiller about that and much more coming up as the Sports Couch continues here.